So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our maths class, and hope all of you are keeping well. And you must have remember in last class we discussed about the increasing and decreasing, and we have done different type of questions also. And in this series, as I told you in last class, I want to do some more question, and still even today, I'm going to do at least one question from increasing and decreasing, and then after I'll start my topic, that is maxima and minima. Okay, and today whatever I'll teach you in maxima minima, maybe it will be little bit different from your book, or I can say that order of the exercise can be different, but I'll try to give you maximum thing according to your book's order or book's sequence, I can say. When what I saw in your book also, that we are having a 7.5 as increasing decreasing, then after 7.6, 7.7 and 7.8, three exercises are there for maxima and minima. So out of these three exercises, I'll try to discuss about the first two exercises, means 7.6 and 7.7, because in these two exercises, I think one exercise is totally depend on the absolute maxima and absolute minima, and to find the value, absolute maximum value or absolute minimum value. And then after I'll discuss about the local minima and local maxima. That will be an important part of this topic, maxima and minima. And this one we will learn by two-way. Two-way means that first order derivative, second order derivative. Many things are there. And I'll try to cover each and everything, and hope you will enjoy this thing. So first of all, I would like to do one question from increasing and decreasing. And if you remember, I told you to in last class, in increasing and decreasing also we will have two type of the question. In one, we have to show that the given function is increasing for given interval, and in other one, it was the question like that where we have to find the interval for this interval. I can say that given function is increasing or decreasing. Okay, so these are the things what I want to discuss with you people today, and let's start with the question number 22nd of that exercise 7.5, and then after I'll move to the maxima and minima. So that question number 22 is there, where it's written fx is equal to fx. It's exercise 7.5, and question number 22. One function is given in front of you, fx is equal to x square e to the power minus x. And actually, what I have to do, we have to, its question is that we find the interval in which the give function this is increasing. It's written that function is increasing. So what should I do? If you remember, I think in last class we discussed ki whenever we want to check whether the given function is increasing or decreasing, or we want to find the interval, then first work will be there to differentiate this function. I'm also going to do the same thing. Just we will differentiate it. So I'll find f dash x here, and f dash x is equal to, I can write x square e to the power minus x into minus 1 plus e to the power minus x into 2x. I used here product rule, and now I can write, since fx is n increasing function, therefore f dash x should be greater than or equal to 0. F dash x is greater than or equal to 0. I may write x square e to the power minus x, and that minus will come here, plus e to the power minus x into 2x is greater than or equal to 0. I think it is not new for you. You are knowing all these things. If I take here e to the power minus x into x as a common, so what I am thinking, I'll have now 2 minus x is greater than or equal to 0. I think there is no problem. Listen me again what I have done. I have just differentiated this given function by using the product rule. I'd use your first into second and plus second into first, and then after, as it is given in your question, fx is increasing function. So what I have done, f dash x is greater than or equal to 0. One thing I want to clear, when I discuss the basic things or basic concept of increasing and decreasing, I told you once we can take greater than 0 and once we can take greater than or equal to 0. Both options are there, but in only greater than 0 we are taking when it will be given strictly increasing, and greater than or equal to will come if simple increasing is there. So you need not to be confused about it. You should be very careful for all these points. Now you can see here what I am thinking, this e to the power minus x will always positive for each and every value of x, but this one and this one, this one and this one, I can take here that 0 and 2, and I can form the interval like we have drawn that one exercise is given here, now that to do all these questions that we can do here, and then after we will just try to find out the intervals. Okay, what we will do, you can see here, when I take the value of x is less than 0, listen me carefully what I want to say, less than 0, it means what, it is negative, and when it is less than 0 then positive means it will come negative, what I am thinking. And when I will take x is greater than 2, means the value of x is more than 2, so that x is positive, but 2 minus more than 2 will be negative, it is again negative. But if I am taking any value of x which is more than 0 and less than 2, like I am taking 1, so for this it will be positive, and greater than or equal to 0 means what, this condition is there, so I can say x belongs to close interval 0 to 2. Now this is the interval 0 to 2 for which f is, I can say f is increasing. So this was our question what I want to discuss with you people today, and then after few points are there in a increasing and decreasing one I want to discuss with you people, and after discussing this in maxima and minima, actually first of all I want to tell you what is the actual meaning of the maxima and minima. Why I said that function is maximum on that given point, why I used to say okay this function is minimum at this point, and how can we find that maximum value of the given function or minimum value of the given function, what is the process to do it. Let me just discuss all these things, and please be serious and concentrate on the board. What I am thinking, just I am going to discuss a very important topic with you people, and if you will go through your previous question paper, previous year's question paper, you must find at least one question will be there in your question paper from maxima minima every year. I can say every year we have got one practical problem on maxima and minima, so we can do the practical problem only after just knowing what is the maximum and what is the minimum value of the function. How can you find the maxima, how can you define that given function is maxima at this point and minima at this point. Okay, let me start it. You must have seen when we are plotting a graph, or I can say drawing a graph of the given function. So only one case when we are having a linear function, it will be a straight line. Otherwise, we will get a curve. That will be depend on the type of the function. It is quadratic or cubic or biquadratic. That different type of functions I can graph I can get that according to the function. Suppose that I am taking a function like that, something is like that, and if the function fx, suppose I am having a function fx and x is belonging a given interval, and that can be actually in your book it's represented by capital D, so you may take it capital D. whatever is there, I can say that x is a real number, or whatever interval I has given for which that function is defined. So definitely we can see a point of or a value of x where it is something like that. It is like that. I have got one more value here. It is like that. Then again it is, you can see, and this one is that down. So for that particular value, if suppose that I have taken a function as fx and another value of at x is equal to c, I am taking fc. Suppose that it is c. When I have taken it is c, so it is fc. If I took it is d, it is sorry, that whole is d, so I can say it is fd. What we have seen from this graph, I can say that fc is the maximum and f is minimum. Now I can say fc is greater than for all the value of fx from other at the other value of x is equal to maybe some other value I am taking except c, and for that value if fx is less than fc, I can say fc is the maximum value. In the same way, if fd is less than fx, d is defined here. I want to tell you one thing, d I have taken 1 point, c I have taken 1 point, and fx means what? All the value of f on the other value of x, I can say. When definitely we will put the value of x, I'll get a fx in the given function. So I can say if fc is greater than fx, so it is maximum, and if fc is less than what I can say, fc is less than fx, then I can say it is minimum. But one more point I want to tell you people, and that is really important for all of us. You can see some points are here. Here I'll have some value of x, here I'll have here, and here also. If I'm talking about from here to here, means the value of x which are just near to the c, or it's a neighbor of c, for all these values that fc is the maximum, and they are less than fc, they are less than fc. In this case, one more thing is there. In this case, one more thing is there. So one more point will come, and that can be called local maxima and local minima. Why it is local maxima and local minima? Actually, that fc and fd is, it can be called the absolute maximum and absolute minimum, because in whole graph we are not getting any value of x for which fx can be maximum or more than fc. fc is the only one which is the maximum, and fd is only one which is the minimum. So it can be called the maximum absolute value, it can be called the minimum absolute value. But side by side one more thing is there. You can see here, if I am talking about this point, some other point I have taken here c1. So if I am talking about fc1, fc1 is less than fc, but more than fd. Are you getting me or not? Here also, if I take another point fc2, so what I have seen, fc2 is more than fc1, but it is less than fc. So if we are having such type of graph, so different point can be there where maximum minimum position can be there, but it cannot call the absolute maximum or absolute minimum. Please listen me carefully. These things are called the local maxima or local minima. Why local? See, I took one point C and then I got FC. Neighbor of C. Neighbor of C means what? Some value of x which is less than C, some value of x which is little bit more than C. And if we are just calculating fx, on C and on the neighbor of C, what we find that FC is the maximum one. In other word, I can say if I am talking about the C1, so FC1 we had got and some other values of X which is nearby the C1, maybe it is less than C1, maybe it is more than C1. One word can use slight less and slight more. Okay, suppose that I am taking some, actually in your book it's taken a delta, a small positive value delta, and C took that book has taken like that C minus delta, C plus delta. It means what? Just less than C and more than C. Less than C1, more than C1. So what I said, if I am talking about this neighbors values, and out of these neighbors, if FC is maximum, I can say that FC is the local maxima. Here FC2 is local maxima. Here FC1 is local minima. FD is local minima. So local maxima and local minima can be the absolute maxima and absolute minima some point at some times. Okay. So these are the some basic things. What is the maxima and what is the minima? Now the main point is there ki how can we find that given function, about the function and all these things. And one more thing, that FC, as I told you that we will take the value of X as a C, and FC is maximum more than Fx, where X can be I can say X is other value except X except C, I can take the value of X, and for all other value of X, if FC is more than Fx, I can say FC is the maximum one. FD is less than this, I can say it is the minimum one. But one more thing I want to tell you, and that will be what I am thinking an important point for you people. How can you find the maximum and minimum value? Actually, there are three ways to do. One is just without differentiation. How can you find the maximum or minimum value of a function without differentiation? And second one is by differentiation. By differentiation, actually two ways are there. One is that first order derivative, and the second one is the by second order derivative. So what we will do for the first order derivative, what we will do for second order derivative, all these things I'll discuss with you people. Okay. When we will discuss about the first order derivative and second order derivative, that time we will discuss about the local maxima and local minima. Okay. One more point is there, absolute maximum and absolute minimum. How can we find the value of the absolute maximum value of the given function or absolute minimum value of the given function? On discussion of all these maxima and minima, one more point is there what I have to tell you, that is a critical point. What is the critical point? A turning point, I can say. Actually, to find the turning point, that first of all we will differentiate the given function, means that if fx is there, we will find f dash x, and when we will equate f dash x equal to 0, then we will find some value of x. This value of x is called the critical point or turning point, and on this given value, obtained value of x, we will find fx. Okay, we will find fx, and according to the situation that I'll discuss, just I'm going to discuss with you people. This value, suppose that I have got the value of x as a, b and c, so definitely I'll find fa, fb, fc. Okay, and if the our function is given that it is differentiable or derivable on the given value of x, so I'll find that one also. And out of these, which one is the maximum? It is called the maximum, absolute maximum, and which one is the minimum? It is called the absolute minimum. Now, definitely in your mind, one question should come: is sir, why we took f dash x is equal to 0 to find the value of x? Let me tell you. You can see, if I am talking about this point and here I draw tangent, I am talking about this point, here I draw tangent, here I draw tangent. All these tangents are parallel to the x-axis. And if they are parallel to the x-axis, definitely their slope should be equal to the slope of the x-axis, and that is equal to 0. So f dash x will be 0. So we can find the slope of the tangent at this point, or in other words, I can say we can find a point where slope of the tangent is 0. So that is the C, and that point will called critical point or turning point, and that will be the C, C1, C2 and D. On all these values we will find fx, and whether that fx is maximum at C, minimum at C1, or maximum at C2, or minimum at D, whatever is there. And from these values only I can just say yes, this is the maximum value of absolute maximum value of this function, and this is the absolute minimum value of this function. So that is the one way. And as I told you, let me solve some question, and what I am thinking these questions will be little bit helpful for you. If I'll do some question, that will be really helpful for you. So as I told you ki different way are there, that I told you ki some questions I can just say it is the maximum value of this function is that much, minimum value of this function is that much, logically also, without any differentiation. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Suppose that I am talking about your question number 1, and in question number 1 the second part you can see fx is equal to 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. Okay, fx is equal to 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. Now only one thing you please tell me, what should be the maximum value of this function? Is it defined? But I am thinking it is not defined ki what is the maximum value of this function, because for each and every value of x, that 2x minus 1 the whole square will be positive, and if it is positive, so positive will can go more, and we will not have any limit there. So maximum value is not defined. But one more thing I want to tell you, I know very well the minimum value of 2x minus 1 the whole square is 0, but it cannot be less than 0. It will never less than 0 for any value of x which is real. So what can I say? Since 2x minus 1 the whole square is always less than or equal to 0, so definitely 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3 is less than or equal to 3. It means what? Fx is always less than or equal to 3. It cannot be extremely sorry, that is greater than or equal to greater than. So fx is always greater than or equal to 3. So how much it will go we don't know, but a boundary is there. It cannot be less than 3. It will be always more than or equal to 3. So what can I say? The minimum value of this function is 3. We can't get any value of fx for any value of x. We will not get fx which is less than 3. It will be always more than or equal to 3. So I can say the minimum value of this function is 3. Maximum is not defined. Now I am going to take one question where maximum will also come. Then it really it can help you. You can see one function is there. Question number 6. Fx is equal to sine 2x plus 5. Yeah, 2x plus 5. Now your question is asking find the minimum and maximum value of this function if it is exist. Here I told you that 2x minus 1 the whole square will never 0. It is always greater than or equal to 0. So I took it is, and when we are added 3 in both sides, so we have written there 2x minus 1 the whole square. Plus 3 is always greater than or equal to 3, and this one called as a fx. In the same way, if you remember about the trigonometry, so we learn that the value of sine x will never less than 1 and never more than 1. So what can I say? We have seen sine x, where we are having sine 2x. Sine 2x is always greater than or equal to minus 1 and less than or equal to 1. If I am talking about sine 2x plus 5, no problem, add 5 everywhere. Sine 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 6 and more than or equal to minus 1 plus 5 will be 4. What I have seen, this one is called the fx. Our fx is always greater than or equal to 4 and less than or equal to 6. Now fx has a boundary. The value of fx will never less than 4 for any value of x, and the value of fx will never more than 6 for any value of x. So what can I say? The minimum value of fx is 4 and maximum value of fx is 6. These are some small things what I can say, and we are doing this question without given any interval and all these things. But few more question I want to do, where we want to find the absolute maximum value or absolute minimum value. How can we do? Let me solve one question, and hope that these questions will definitely help us to do the remaining question. I'm just taking one easy things. You can see that question number 12. In question number 12, what has given? See, in question number 12 it is written ki find the absolute minimum and absolute maximum values of the following function in the indicated interval. Also find the point of absolute maxima and absolute minima. One thing I want to tell you, here you can see, as I told you ki at x is equal to c, fc is the maximum, or I can say fc is the absolute maximum value. So that c, x is equal to c, that is called the point of maximum. And if at x is equal to d it is minimum, I can say it is the point of minimum. So I am taking one question for you people, and hope that it will help you. So I am just going to erase this one, and then after again I'll discuss that. Actually starting one I am discussing, then after, as I told you that we will discuss about the how to find the maximum and minimum value of the function. So I told you that there are two ways. That first one is the first order derivative and second order derivative. So it will be used especially for the local maxima and local minima. So after this exercise, just I'll move there only, and really it will be interested and helpful for you. So here one question I am taking for you, easy things. It is really easy. Question number 12. It's the second part. You can see fx is equal to x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. What I told you, if you remember, just I said we will find f dash x, then f dash x equal to 0 to find the turning point or critical point, and then after I'll find the value of fx at turning point and at the given interval. Actually here it's written in minus 3 to 1. So this minus 3 to 1 is boundary for us. So what can I write here? First of all, I'll find f dash x, that will be 2x minus 1. Yeah, enough. Now I can take, if f dash x is equal to 0, so definitely 2 x minus 1 equal to 0, then I'll get x is equal to 1. And this is here. Sometime it happen we are having minus 3 and minus 1 also, and then after one more point I am getting which is belonging between this interval. So I'll check on this one. So now what can I write? f1 is equal to 1 minus 1 the whole square plus 3, and it is 3. But f minus 3 is equal to minus 3 minus 1 the whole square plus 3, it is 16 plus 3. So I can write it is 90. And now what I am thinking, easily you can identify that f1 is equal to 3 and f minus 3 is 19. So which one is the maximum one and which one is the minimum one? I don't think it is very difficult for you to know okay, which one is the maximum and which one is the minimum. So here I can say the maximum value of absolute maximum value of this function is 19 and absolute minimum value of this function is 3. It is absolute maximum when x is equal to minus 3 and it is absolute minimum when x is equal to what I am thinking, one more question can come in your mind, sir. Already you have taken 1 and minus 3 and these values are given in front of the question. So what is the use of finding that f dash x and f dash x is equal to 0? So I would like to tell you it's not necessary that always that our turning point, as I have taken f dash x is equal to 0 and I got here x is equal to, it is not necessary that always we will get x is equal to 1. Maybe we are getting a value of x which is between minus 3 and 1. You have to be very careful for that. I want to do one more question and hopefully after that it will be a little bit helpful for you. What I am thinking, you can see one part of this question is there x plus sin x. It is the seventh part of this one. Fx has given x plus sin x and in front of that one interval is given 0 to 2 pi. It's talking about the value of x that is 0 to 2 pi. Now whatever process is there, according to that process, first of all, what should I do? I write here f dash x and it is equal to 1 plus cos x. Okay, there is no problem. And now if I take if f dash x equal to 0, so definitely I can take 1 plus cos x equal to 0. Then it can be written as cos x is equal to minus 1 and x is equal to pi. Definitely. Now we will find the value of x. Listen me what I want to say. Sorry, value of fx on 3 points. When x is equal to 0, when x is equal to 2 pi and when x is equal to pi. This one I want to tell you. Not only 0 and 2 pi. Now I have to find fx at x is equal to pi also. So we will find f0, f pi and f2 pi and then we will see which one is the maximum and which one is the minimum, and easily we can define, yeah, it is the maximum value, it is the minimum value, and that is that point value of x is point of maxima and that other one is point of minimum. Listen me again, if when you will substitute the value of x is equal to 0, definitely fx will be 0. Yeah, say yes or no. When I substitute x is equal to pi, I get sin pi will be 0, then f pi will be pi. When I substitute x is equal to 2 pi, sin 2 pi will be 0, that is 2 pi. So what I am thinking, 0 will be the minimum value and 2 pi will be the maximum value. 0 I am getting when x is equal to 0, 2 pi I am getting when x is 2 pi. You will calculate, that's orally I am telling you what can be possible. So if I am getting at x is equal to 0, its minimum value, I can say that point of minima is 0. If I am taking, I'll get x is equal to 2 pi is the maximum one. So I can say that point of maxima is 2 pi. These are the few basic things. Now I am going to discuss with you people a very important thing, and please all of you be careful here and discuss all these things very nicely, because I am just going to discuss an important point, and what I am thinking this will be interested and it will help you. How can you find the local maxima and local minima and all these things? As I told you, two methods are there. One is by first order derivative and one is by second order derivative, and side by side you must have remember in the last class on Tuesday we were live. Again next Tuesday also we will be live, and I think during these days basically I discuss about increasing, decreasing, and maxima, minima. So please be ready with your questions. If there is any doubt in maxima, minima, if there is any doubt in increasing, decreasing, we will discuss all these things. Still, I am having 10 minutes, and either we will do question or not. But I want to tell you the basic things. How can we find the local maxima and local minima? That is whatever till now I told you. I can't say it is not important. It is also important. But now what I am going to tell you, it is really very important for you. All the practical problem will be solved by this method. What I am going to tell you right now. Listen me carefully. That first step, if some function is there, we will try to find the f dash x. That is the first step. Okay. After that's one, I'm going to I'm discussing that of first order derivative. First order derivative. So need not to be worried about it. F dash x. Now next step, I'll take f dash x equal to 0. So definitely when I'll take f dash x is equal to 0, we will find some value of x. Suppose that I had got here x is equal to a or b, whatever is there. Yeah. Now, two value I have taken. Suppose that I want to discuss about x is equal to a. Here I will discuss about x is equal to b. Both we will do. Okay, for few seconds you forget about this one. I'm just going to check on x is equal to a. Listen me very carefully. I got first of all fx was the given function. Then I found just differentiate it. I got f dash x. Then I took f dash x is equal to 0. After simplifying, we have got value of f x. If our function is quadratic, differentiation will be linear. Only one value of x we will get. If our given function is cubic, their differentiation will be quadratic. We will get 2 value of x. If our function is biquadratic, their differentiation will be cubic. Then we will have a 3 value of x. Okay. So one general things I am telling you what I have to do. Listen me. And what I am thinking really it will be an important point for you. Now I am just going to discuss about x is equal to a. Okay. Now suppose that on a number line this is a. I took it as a. Now if I'll take the value of x which is less than a, means I am going in this side, and if I am taking a value of x which is more than a, it means I am going in right side. On number line you must have remember, if it is a, so this side the value of all the value will be less than a, and this side more than a. Very clearly you can listen me. If the value of x is less than a and f dash x, here also I am writing f dash x. X is less than a, in this side x is greater than a. If the value of x is less than a, and that time if f dash x is positive, and if the value of x is more than a and f dash x is negative, it's maybe. Now change the things. Maybe when we are taking the value of x which is less than a, on that value f dash x is negative, and if I am taking value of x is more than a, it is positive. It's maybe in both cases we are getting positive, in both cases we are getting negative. It cannot be equal to 0, because when I took equal to 0, then I got x is equal to a. If I'll take x is equal to a, then only it will be 0. If I'll take x is less than a or more than a, it will not be 0. Either it is less than 0 or more than, means negative or positive. Okay. See carefully, very carefully. For these last two cases, means either we are taking the value of x which is less than a or more than a. In both cases, sign has not changed. Either it is both are positive or both are negative. So in this case I can say at x is equal to a, fx is neither maxima neither maxima nor minima. Very clearly you can see. But listen me carefully. But if the changing is going from positive to negative, it is moving from positive to negative, I can say fx is maxima at x is equal to a. If it is changing negative to positive, I can say fx is minimum. And what I am thinking, you have got all these things, and the same thing I want to just explain with the help of graph also. You must have remember I told you like that, na? This one is the maxima, this one is the minima. When x is, suppose that it is x is equal to a, very clearly I am telling you, x is equal to a, okay? When x is less than, what I can say, when x is, value of x is less than a, here, now f dash x, definitely that will make an acute angle, so I'll take it is positive. When x is more than a, here I'll have, and that it will have a obtuse angle, so tangent will be negative. Now positive to negative, it is maxima, but when I discuss the same thing at this point, if I am taking x is equal to a here, and when x is less than a, like that, and here you will draw, so that will be negative, and more than a, if I draw a tangent, it will be acute angle. For obtuse angle it is negative, and acute angle it is positive. So when our changes, which changes? F dash x, that changes of f dash x is from positive to negative, it is maxima, and it is from negative to positive, it is minima. I think very clearly I discussed all these things. If you are having any doubt, and at this point you please go through again the same in same videos, and hope you will get all these things. And for x is equal to b, again we will follow the same process. I will take the value of b, x which is less than b, and once the value of x which is more than b. And if the changes is from positive to negative, function will be maxima. If positive is changes is from negative to positive, it is minimum. And suppose that after all these calculation I got x is equal to, at x is equal to a, our function fx is maxima. So to find the maximum value, we have to substitute in our original function x is equal to a. It means fa will be the maximum value of the function. Hope you have got all these points. And now we are having only few minutes left, and one more topic is there to discuss, that is second order. I am just going to discuss second order derivative, and question will I will do tomorrow. Listen me. This one was the first order and second order. Please, if you want to write this step, no, you can write. That will be very useful for you. We will have a function fx. First of all, we will find f dash x. Then after f dash x equal to 0, from here I will get x is equal to a or b. We will get the value of x, and that is called the turning point or critical point. Okay. Now, in second order, as here what we have done, in first order I took the value of x once it is less than a, once it is more than a, and I checked whether it's changing from positive to negative or negative to positive, and accordingly we took decision. If changing is positive to negative, I said it is maxima, and if changes in negative to positive, I said it is minima. Now, here after getting the value of x, I'll find f double dash x. Listen me carefully. F double dash x. And now, after getting f double dash, if I want to check at x is equal to a, so f double dash a I'll find. F double dash a I'll find. And here there are two options, either it is equal to 0 or it is not equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, let me tell you very clearly, actually in your syllabus that only second order derivative has given. If we are going for competition, if we are just going to prepare ourselves for IIT and all these things, then it will not use second order, then that time it will use higher order derivative. And very clearly I want to tell you, when f double dash a is equal to 0, then we have to proceed for the next order derivative, means third order derivative. But at your level, in ICC class 12, simply if f double dash a is equal to 0, I can say it's neither maxima nor minimum. Please listen me very carefully what I want to tell you. Neither maxima nor minima when it is 0. But if it is not equal to 0, again two options are there. It may be positive, it may be negative. It may be positive, it may be negative. If it is positive, I can say it is minima. If it is negative, I can say it is maxima. Hope you have got to me. Listen me very carefully. That whole whiteboard, I can say, you may take a screenshot of this one. And in this one, each and everything I wrote here related to maxima and minima. And all the possible things has been included here. The first one, this side, I discussed about the maxima and minima for the first order derivative. Here I discuss about the second order derivative. Listen me again what I said. Fx, then f dash x equal to 0. That three step we have to do in both part. Okay, means till the finding the value of x, I can say, or to find the turning point, we have to do both. And then after, in first order derivative, suppose that I am talking about x is equal to a, once I'll take the value of x is less than a, and once I'll take x value of x is more than a, and we will see if changes is from positive to negative, it is maxima, negative to positive minima, and no changes, neither maxima nor minima. Same thing we can do with b also. Now, for second order derivative, after getting the value of x as a and b, we will find f double dash x. And then after, in f double dash x, we will substitute the value of obtained value of x, once a and once b. Now I am talking about a. When we will substitute x is equal to a, so maybe we will get 0, maybe we will get negative, maybe we will get positive. If it is 0, I can say neither maxima nor minima. If it is positive, I can say at x is equal to a, function is minima. And if it is negative, I can say at x is equal to a, function is maxima. Same thing with b also. Suppose that I am talking about b. So if f double dash b is equal to 0, neither maxima nor minima. If f double dash b is positive, I can say at x is equal to b, it is minima. And if f double dash a is negative, I can say it is maxima. And after that, that is a simple test, I can say. No, we have done one test that a given function is maxima or minima at x is equal to this value. Now to find the maximum value, I have to substitute that x is equal to a here. If it is at x is equal to a, it is maxima. When we will substitute in original function x is equal to a, we will get the maximum value. If it is minimum, we will get the minimum value. These are the basic things of maximum and minimum. And next class, means in tomorrow class, I'll discuss again. I'll brief you people about it, and then I'll do some question for you people. So what I can say, that whole whiteboard is really important for you. You can take a screenshot of this one and you can go through it. That will be helpful. Thank you. Have a good day.